Hey everyone, and welcome back to Kadiri's World Events. We all know the story of Romeo and Juliet, the world's most famous star-crossed lovers. But what if I told you that Shakespeare's iconic play wasn't just a work of fiction? What if it was inspired by a real, tragic love story that unfolded centuries before he ever put pen to paper? Let's travel back, not to Verona, but to the city of Siena, Italy, in the year 1340. This is where our story begins, with two real families locked in a bitter feud, the Ptolemy and the Salimbeni. Forget the Montagues and Capulets for a moment. These were powerful, rival banking families, and their hatred for each other was legendary throughout the city. In this world of conflict, we meet our real-life lovers, Giannazza, a beautiful young woman from the Ptolemy family, and Mariotto, a dashing young man from the Salimbeni clan. Just like in the play, they met at a public festival and fell instantly, deeply in love. It was a love that was completely forbidden, a flame that could only lead to disaster. Knowing their families would never approve, they decided to marry in secret. A friar, much like Friar Lawrence, agreed to help them. He understood the depth of their love and hoped their union might one day bring peace to the warring families. So, under the cover of darkness, Giannazza and Mariotto were secretly wed, pledging their lives to one another. For a while, they managed to keep their love a secret, stealing precious moments together whenever they could. But destiny had other plans. One day, Mariotto got into a heated argument with a prominent member of the Ptolemy family, Giannazza's own kin. The argument escalated into a fight, and in the chaos, Mariotto tragically killed the man. The consequences were swift and severe. Instead of being executed, Mariotto was banished from Siena forever. His sentence was exile. The lovers were heartbroken. Before he fled to Alexandria, Egypt, they shared one last, tearful night together. They promised to find a way to reunite, no matter the cost. With Mariotto gone, Giannazza's father, seeing her in such despair and unaware of her secret marriage, decided she should marry someone else. He arranged for her to wed a man from a respectable family, hoping it would lift her spirits. Giannazza was horrified. The thought of being married to anyone but Mariotto was unbearable. Desperate, she turned to the same friar who had married them. He devised a risky plan. He gave her a powerful sleeping potion that would make her appear dead for several days. The plan was for her family to believe she had died of a broken heart. They would place her in the family tomb, and once she awoke, the friar would help her escape to join Mariotto in Alexandria. The plan was set in motion. A messenger was sent to Alexandria to inform Mariotto of the plot, so he wouldn't be alarmed by news of Giannazza's death. But fate, cruel as ever, intervened. The messenger was captured by pirates on his way, and the message never reached Mariotto. Instead, all Mariotto heard was the devastating news that his beloved Giannazza was dead. Consumed by grief and with nothing left to live for, he decided to defy his exile and return to Siena one last time, just to see her tomb and die beside her. He snuck back into the city under the cover of night and made his way to the Ptolemy family crypt. But as he tried to open the tomb, he was discovered by the city guard. He was arrested, identified as the exiled Salimbeni who had returned illegally, and swiftly sentenced to death. He was executed just 3 days after Giannazza had taken the potion. Meanwhile, Giannazza woke up in the cold, dark tomb, alone. The friar came to help her, but he brought with him the most terrible news imaginable. Mariotto had returned, been captured, and was already dead. Giannazza's world collapsed. Her desperate plan had led to the very tragedy she sought to avoid. Heartbroken and utterly defeated, she refused to leave the tomb. She wasted away from grief, her spirit broken, and died in that very crypt, just a few days after her husband. Their story, a true tale of love and loss, spread throughout Italy. It was a story so powerful, so tragic, that it was told and retold for over 200 years, eventually finding its way to a young playwright in England named William Shakespeare. He took this real-life tragedy, changed the names and the city, and gave the world the immortal story of Romeo and Juliet. So the next time you hear their names, remember Giannazza and Mariotto, the real lovers from Siena whose hearts dared to love against all odds, and whose tragic story lives on forever. Thanks for watching Kadiri's World Events. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible true stories from history. See you next time.